Unit PC Activity 8. For number 1, I think that the mass and the volume more have to do with what the inside of the container and can be changed by what's added or taken away to the container, so that is why it's not considered a characteristic. I think that for number 2, I think that objects that have a high density have a lot of particles, but also the particles are spaced more close together, or they're in a container that's a smaller space, so they have to be close together, while less dense objects have less particles and more space between the particles. For number 3, I put that the liquids have different chemical makeups as well as different densities. That's why they are separated. For B, I would say that the 10-pound bowling ball would float between the rubbing alcohol layer and the vegetable layer due to its density. And for number 4, I personally think that the volume is more of a factor than the mass with a person going in the tub. There's the initial volume of the water in the bathtub, then the person themselves goes in, adding another volume slash object to the tub, raising the initial volume. Just like in the experiments where we saw the graduated cylinder filled with water, it has the measurement of the original amount of water. Then the brass cubes were added to the cylinder, raising the water, just like this scenario. So for number 5, I put the density of the piece of metal is 340 grams divided by 15.8 milliliters, because density is calculated by mass divided by volume. So the density of the piece of metal that the student found is 21.52. The student calculated that the density of silver is 10.40. With all that information, it seems that the shiny silver-looking piece of metal that the student found is not in fact silver, but closer to platinum. And those are the summary questions.